yeah, it's scary to think that this could be the end of Kanye because of drugs, because of a weird fucking drug. You know, if you're going to die from an OD, do heroin, dude. Laughing gas? Hello, everybody. Welcome to Heather Shaw is Kidding. It's me, Heather Shaw, back for another episode. This is not the Australian breakdancer talking to you right now. This is Heather Shaw. Everyone keeps telling me, hey, you look like that Australian breakdancer, which is something I didn't think I'd ever hear in my life. She has taken the Olympics by storm. I think her name is Rachel Gunn, Ray Gunn, if you will, if you're nasty. The Australian breakdancer who I think lost a bet and just had to sign up for breakdancing at the Olympics. I don't think Australians breakdance. If she's not proof of that, then I don't know what is. I don't think Australia has hip-hop. I think the only thing that is hip-hopping down in Australia are the kangaroos. That was a horrific and fun appearance by Australia in the Olympics. So fun that they are now revoking breakdancing as an Australian or as an Olympic sport. And thank God. We have Australia to thank for that. We don't have to pretend that breakdancing is a sport. It's a dance. It's fun. But, breakdancing is as much as a sport as Macarena is. But I am not the Australian breakdancer. I wish I was. She is hysterical and I think doing an Andy Kaufman-esque performance. And she has lit the world on fire. She is the new Hawk Tuah. She is the Australian Hawk Tuah. G'day, mate. I'm about to break dance all over this floor. I'm the new Hawk Tuah. R.I.P. Steve Irwin. I don't know. That's my Australian accent. Anyways, this is Heather Shaw. This is Heather Shaw is Kidding. I'm in a new studio. If you're on YouTube right now and you've decided to watch this, you're in my office. I don't have an actual physical, cool person studio. I do this in my office at home like a real fucking lesbian. So I don't know how this looks. Hopefully it doesn't look too bad. Hopefully I don't get sued. I don't know if anybody can tell me if I'm allowed to have, if you're listening and you're not watching, thank you. But the new setup is just me in front of my bookshelf. This entire office is just made of shelves. There's no actual wall. So I just have to do it in front of the very few books that I do have. Don't judge me. Some of these are not my books. Harry Potter, it's not mine. That's my fiance's, or I think one of my dogs. One of them. I don't know. Not me. I'm not reading Harry Potter. I always say if I wanted to read a book about a boy wizard, I would just crack open the Bible. All right. I hope you've been having a good week here. It's Wednesday. It's a beautiful Wednesday in August. If you're in Phoenix, just so you know, I'm going to be in Phoenix all weekend. Thursday through Saturday, I'm doing 5 shows at the House of Comedy in Phoenix. 1 show Thursday, 2 shows Friday, 2 shows Saturday. If you're in Phoenix or the surrounding areas, if you are a Gilbert Goon, come on out to that show. Come on out to the shows, please. This new studio is making me nervous. I can't talk. I feel like Gypsy. I feel like Gypsy on live. The minute Gypsy sees Ken when she's on live, she gets verklempt. She gets nervous. She starts sweating. That's how I feel. Except I don't have a Ken here. It's just the new office. It's making me nervous. Maybe this is payback for all the shit talking I've done with Gypsy. I love Gypsy. Somebody DM'd me on Instagram and said, Heather, I love you so much. I'm not going to do her accent. That's crazy. It was a lady, I don't know where she is because I'm ignorant, but she said, please stop saying gypsy. That is so offensive. It's Roma. We are Roma people. No more gypsy. And I said, look, I'm never referring to actual gypsies when I say the word gypsy. I'm just referring to Gypsy Rose Blanchard. But I do agree that Gypsy should change her name to Roma because Roma Rose rolls right off the tongue. My name's Roma Rose. Not here to say a slur. Get that fire there. Hello, my name's Roma Rose. I mean, she would do great with that name. Change it up, Gyps. Your name is kind of a slur. Stamford, Connecticut, I will be at the New York Comedy Club August 21st, and then August 22nd, I'm in Long Island, New York, in Levittown at Governor's. Please, dear God, come out. I don't think tickets are selling very well in Long Island or Stamford. What? I thought white people would want to come out and have me yell at their face. What's going on up there? I don't know anything about Connecticut. I don't think I want to find out. But if you're out in Connecticut or Long Island, come on out. It'll be fun, I promise. I'm going to have a guest appearance by Roma Rose. It's been a fun week. You know, a lot of the things that have happened, newsworthy-wise, I kind of talked about on my Patreon this past week. So I don't want to repeat the stories. You know, for Patreon members, I think that's kind of, I'm being a little cheapskate if I talk about the same things I talked about on the Patreon. But it was lit. There was a lot to talk about on the Patreon. I probably should have saved it for the main episode. But I decided to talk a lot about Nelly's arrest. We'll get into it a little, but I don't want to go over it too much again. Nelly got arrested at a casino in Missouri. He's 49 years old. That's a lot to unpack. A 49-year-old at 4 a.m., by the way. Nelly was at a casino in Missouri as a 49-year-old former rapper. I mean, he doesn't rap anymore. At 4 a.m., and he had ecstasy on him. It's like, get a grip, dude. Have a normal midlife crisis and just cheat. Maybe he was cheating. I don't know. But to be in a Missouri casino at 4 a.m. is just, that's your rock bottom. That should be anybody's rock bottom. Even the employees who work there, that's your rock bottom. What do you mean you're working at a casino in Missouri at 4 a.m.? Huh? Get into an Amazon warehouse. I talked about Kanye getting a little addicted to whippets on that past episode. I'm going to be talking about that a little bit more. But I promise I'm not going to be repeating everything that I talked about. But if you want to hear about what I did talk about in the previous episodes or any of the other episodes, join the Patreon. Heather Shaw Comedy over at patreon.com. It's good stuff. Donald Trump and Elon Musk had a little powwow over there on X, I believe. A lot of technical difficulties, as you would expect. I don't think anything Elon Musk touches turns to gold. It turns to buffering. Anything Elon Musk touches turns to either buffering or broken. And that's to do with, software or hardware. Cars like Tesla and the Cybertruck, or programs like X. Applications, if you will. But Donald Trump and Elon Musk had a little, meeting of the minds. The meeting of the two brain cells they put together and to talk. I don't know. They talked about anti-immigration, things like that. People were talking a lot about Donald Trump's speech on the meetup. I don't know what it's called on X when two racist people get together to talk. What is that called? Just a normal hang on X? Twitter used to be fun. What the fuck is X? I don't even know. But yeah, these two racist rich guys got together and were just like, let's talk about immigration. Let's talk about, things that matter. And Donald Trump had a little bit of a lisp going on, it sounded like. Now, I don't know if it was an actual lisp. He did sound a little like Daffy Duck. He just kind of had this little, is it Daffy Duck or Donald Duck? Donald Duck's the squeak one, right? I don't know cartoons. I'm a fucking grown adult and have no memory. I have the memory of a goldfish. I can't tell you anything about my childhood other than my parents were white. Yeah, he had either a little lisp or it could have been like an audio compression issue where like every time he said S sounds, it kind of sounded like a lisp. I don't really know. I don't really care. That's the least of my worries right now when it comes to Donald Trump. It seems like he's falling off. He's really, he's in his flop era, which is surprising coming off of an assassination attempt. You'd think he'd be thriving and being like, remember when I almost died, guys? It's crazy. Anyways. But his rallies are weird. He's just kind of getting up there. They're more roasts than rallies. He's not talking about policies. He's not really talking about anything. He's just getting up there and being like, he's fat. This person's a big porker. I don't even know who he's talking about. I'd hit Kamala with a truck. I'd smash it with a hammer. I don't really know what he's doing up there. I've heard and seen videos on TikTok of people that go to Trump rallies and they get so bored by what he's talking about that they're walking out, which is a big sign. I don't know if it's a lot of people. I think that's what was happening in Bozeman, Montana when he froze. I talked about that on the Patreon as well. I won't go much further into him freezing if you want to hear about that. It's on the Patreon episode. But Donald and Elon got together to have a little powwow, a meeting of the two brain cell mind. That is my nightmare blunt rotation, if I've ever had one. I don't even smoke weed. I would need to smoke weed to be around them, and then I'd be in a nightmare, thinking about, like, do I have to pass this blunt to them? What will I catch? I'm sober. Sharing a glass of water with them is my nightmare water rotation. I mean, I won't want to be in a room with these guys. They might slip something into my drink. I made a video on TikTok a while back about, I was ranking NFL quarterbacks by how much I trust them, leaving my drink around them. And it was a goofy video, you know, it was whatever. Lamar Jackson, number 1. I trust him with my heart and soul. It was going to be Mac Jones at 10. If you know football, you know. And a couple guys commented like, yeah, you don't have to worry about guys slipping anything in your drink. Like, they think that's a flex for them being like, honey, you don't have to worry about being raped. Trust me, I wouldn't rape you. It's like, thank you, Kyle. Thank you so much. Maybe you should have that attitude for every woman. Pretend every woman is ugly. Just, that's a good attitude to have. I don't think that's the insult you're looking for. But I like that some men, their insult to you is like, I would not rape you. Let's just say that. I wouldn't have non-consensual sexual assaulting sex with you. You're so gross. Like, that's good. Thank you so much for that insult. I am calling the cops. But Donald and Elon getting together, talking about God knows fucking what. I couldn't sit through that. I can't even read an article about what they were talking about. I don't even know if I pulled up an article. I just don't care. I can imagine first of all, beyond the technical difficulties, I'm sure there were so many technical difficulties up front, as there usually is with meetings on X. It's very much reminiscent of, like, when you try to get your family all together on a FaceTime call or all together on Zoom for whatever reason. You know, in COVID, a lot of families would hop on Zoom to kind of keep touch. And, you know, you've got your grandma on there. You've got your weird uncle that was kind of, you know, he looked at your boobs. He lingered on your boobs a little too long when you were 14 years old. He's on there. He's already half in the bag. 2 sheets to the wind. He's a little fucked up. It's a Tuesday. It's weird, but it's COVID times. We were all doing crazy shit. But, you know, the beginning of a Zoom call when your grandma's like, how does this work? Am I on? And your uncle's like, who is this clothing optional? And, you know, it's a whole mess. I did a family Zoom call for my aunt's birthday a couple weeks ago. It was fucking hell on earth. It reminds me of why I don't talk to my family. I love them from afar. You know, it's like another country. I'm probably not going to go to China, but I will love China from afar. Same with Australia. Sorry, Australia. I've seen how you break dance. I can't go down there. Come on down and spin with us here. But I remember that we set up a FaceTime call, me and my entire family. And my mom texted me off to the side, and she was like, because we were all in a big group chat planning this call for my aunt. And she texted me and she goes, Heather, I've got an issue. And I was like, yeah, brother, what is it, Mom? You don't know how to work FaceTime? We've FaceTime a million times before. What? And she goes, no, Heather, Grandma doesn't think she can FaceTime. I said, doesn't Grandma have an iPhone? She goes, yes, but that's besides the point. I said, well, then why do you think Grandma's going to have an issue joining this FaceTime group call? What are we doing? She goes, Heather, Grandma doesn't have a Facebook account. How can she possibly FaceTime? And I said, I'm dealing with a crazy person right now. There's no talking to this woman. My mom really thought that you could not FaceTime unless you had a Facebook account. I mean, the boomers are living in another world. She's been on Facebook for 25 years. She's been on Facebook for so fucking long. I don't know how she thought. God bless my mom. You know, God's not real and my mom doesn't need blessing. But God bless my mom. For her, where did they come up with this? They were around when Facebook came out for them. They've been on FaceTime calls for at least the past decade, and now all of a sudden in her head she's like, Grandma can't FaceTime because she doesn't have Facebook. It's very weird what happens to the brain as you get older. I hope I die in a car crash at 60. But yeah, that call with Donald and Elon, it's giving family FaceTime call. There's a lot of glitches in the beginning. Your grandma can't figure out how to unmute herself. 3 people aren't on camera, and they're trying to figure out how to be on camera. Another person hasn't even, turned on their phones. They're like, how do I join this call? My phone's off. It's like, how are you even talking to me right now? It's a mess. It's an entire mess. I don't know what Donnie Boy and Elon have in common other than being rich and white and racist. They should just do a buddy cop movie. Donnie and Elon, Don Elon. That would be the buddy cop movie name. Don Elon. 2 white guys come together to harass women and call black people the help. I don't know what they're good for. But his campaign is going down, man. It's very surprising how fast it seemed to go 6 feet under. I mean, it's JD Vance is a mess. I think he was the worst possible pick. I think Trump should have went with a woman. I think he should have pulled a John McCain. And maybe not a Sarah Palin, but he had to get some woman on the ticket. I think that would have really lit a fire under the Republican Party's ass a bit. It made him excited. Instead, he went with JD Vance, who again sounds like a furniture store. He sounds like a third side character on The Office, season 8. Something they just added in the mix. JD Vance, he's married to an Indian woman, which is, I guess, different, but he's not very good as a public speaker. He's not funny. He thinks he's funny on speech. He gives speeches the way a very nervous college student would do a presentation in class, where it's just a lot of, like, half-ass laughs and, like, awkward silences, a lot of, like, anyway, the mitochondria. Sorry, I thought that was slide 3. Hold on. Yeah, so the mitochondria is the main powerhouse cell of the brain. It's a bad presentation. He doesn't have the charisma, uniqueness, nerve, or talent. Honey, he doesn't have any of that, especially as a drag queen. Have you seen those pictures of JD Vance as a drag queen? Now, he's not really a drag queen. He was doing what college kids, 20-year-olds, early 20s, do. They drink and they have fun. I don't have a problem with seeing anybody, especially 20-year-old college men, dress up in dresses and wigs as a goof. I don't think it's a clear sign of gayness. Call me crazy. I think it's just a silly thing to do. It's fun. It's goofy. That's basically the premise of Halloween. Did we forget how many men we see out dressed as, women, or like cross-dressing or dressing in weird costumes or wearing makeup, whether it's actual, cosmetology makeup, or if it's just face paint because they're a demon or a ghoul, or, that is the premise of Halloween, men dressing up in costumes and makeup. And we don't bat an eye. We don't say, that's gay. I'm trying not to say the F word for gay, because YouTube always goes, how dare you, you evil bitch. How dare you say the word that describes yourself? But I don't think it's weird, and I don't think it's a sign of homosexuality for a guy, especially a younger guy, to wear a dress or wig or whatever as a goof at a party, or like, again, on Halloween. We don't call men gay for dressing up with their girlfriend as, opposite genders. It's fun and it's light and it's cool. But, they want to paint JD Vance as this guy in drag, which is unfair, but also, dude, you kind of asked for it. When you started coming for drag queens and gay people, then the minute we find you in makeup and a dress in the freshman year of college as a goof at a party, we're gonna come for you hard. It's not fair, but that's how the game is played. We would have left you alone if you would have left us alone first. It's kind of like that. George Santos is defending George Vance. Of course he is. George Santos is like, finally, I can get back in the spotlight. This is my time to shine. Another closeted Republican is dressing up as drag. I don't think JD Vance is closeted, by the way. I really don't. I think I haven't looked into it. I don't really care. I think you can't chalk up him dressing up in a wig and dress when he was in his 20s in college as him being secretly gay. I mean, guys do that. They think it's fun because they're, they have a fucked up, warped sense of masculinity. They're raised weird. That's why it's so attractive, by the way, when a man is comfortable in the sexuality where, like, if you were to call him gay, he'd be like, okay, well, I'm not, so that's so attractive. If I was a straight woman, I would be so attracted to men that, like, kiss their guy friends on the lips because they know they're not gay, so they know it's not a big deal. Like, as a goof. Like, if you saw a guy kiss his guy friend on the lips, you'd be like, that's fine. And he wouldn't think anything of it. It's if they start to freak out, that's a sign that they might have some thoughts going on. They might have some gay rage bubbling up underneath the surface. That's a good test. Ask your husband or boyfriend, hey, would you ever kiss a guy? And if he's like, ew, no, ew, he's gay. If he goes, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't, yeah, I'd do it. I mean, I wouldn't be into it, but I'd do it. Or if they're just indifferent or like, I probably wouldn't, but maybe, but like, it wouldn't bum me out. I'd just be like, that's a good sign. Your husband or boyfriend is probably very straight and also very comfortable in his sexuality, and that is attractive. It's the guys that are like, ew, barf, disgusting, kill, ew, that are gay as hell and have a Grindr account secretly under an app named Directions and Maps. Okay. George Santos was defending J.D. Vance. What else is new? George Santos also dressed up. Now, George Santos was a legit drag queen. Remember that George was a legit drag queen. These photos of J.D. Vance, I mean, he's not even in a dress. He's in a black shirt. He's got a wig on and some eyeliner. I mean, it's fine. I've seen a million dudes like this dress up in college at a party where they're drunk and like, it's not a big deal. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't think it's a sign of him being gay or a cross-dresser or anything. But George Santos was a legit drag queen. Kitara Ravachi. If I'm saying that wrong, I'm so sorry, Mr. Santos. I'm so sorry, my favorite gay grifter. Kitara. That's a great drag name. That was George Santos's drag name. He should go back to drag. I'd like to see him again on RuPaul's Drag Race, fighting for his life with all those other queens, because he would not hold a candle to any of them. What did he say? George's advice for Vance: own this and go after the political left for trying to shame him and frame him as a drag queen at a time when the left is fighting for legal protections for drag queens. Yeah, I see what he's saying. His point is, why should the left, who's so supportive for legal protections of drag queens, why would they all of a sudden be like, LOL, you're a drag queen, you fucking faggot? Oh, I can't. I already said it. Sorry. We're deep in the episode. Maybe YouTube won't catch that. But his point is kind of moot because as I said before, we only come after you when you've come after us. We wouldn't give a fuck if these pictures came out and J.D. Vance was not against women's rights and gay people rights and, wasn't so anti-drag queen, anti-LGBTQIA Disney Plus. We wouldn't care. But because he's so, horrible and wants all of our rights stripped away, then we're going to make fun of you. And you deserve it. The bully has become bullied. And it's fun. It's why it's fun when you see, somebody who's so anti-LGBTQ, they pop up on Grindr. You're like, you giant fucking faggot. We knew, and we're going to make fun of you because you made fun of us first. You hit us first. We're going to hit you back. I don't really care. I don't really know what's going on with Trump and J.D. Vance. It seems like it's a lost cause at this point. It seems like they've got a very, very big uphill battle. I've heard rumors that Trump isn't going to be campaigning for the entirety of August, which seems insane. I don't think that's true. That can't be true. But then again, Trump is 78 years old. I mean, we should not be surprised that a 78-year-old white man is getting up on stage and just saying the most vile shit about minorities and women and other people. Dude, what do you expect a 78-year-old white American male to do? At 78, I mean, it's amazing that Bernie Sanders is nice, but I'm like, the minute he turns 90, he's just going to start saying the N-word. I'm worried that Sanders will just, become an old man. That's what they do. It'd be much weirder if Trump got up there and was like, love everybody. Equal rights for women. They deserve pay too. It'd be weird. What do you want a 78-year-old, white dude to do? A lot of TikTok psychics are saying that, and by TikTok psychics, I mean women with schizophrenia. A lot of them are saying that Trump is going to die in September. So we'll see if that's true. If it's not, then we know for sure that those psychics have schizophrenia. I love the woo-woo spirituality stuff, but there is a cynical part of me that's just like, honey, this is just full-blown mental illness. Some girl was like, I like to do astral projections while I meditate, and I was just talking to spirits, and it's like, girl, you are going, that's bipolar. Are you borderline? Because you are borderline freaking me out. All right, and fun news for me, I enjoy seeing this. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds are not doing too well with the public eye. The public perception of Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds is going down. Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds, they're not getting canceled. They're not doing anything horrific. They're not sending letters into a judge excusing the behavior of a rapist. Right, Ashton and Mila? They're not doing that. They're fine people. Ryan Reynolds is Canadian. He couldn't hurt a fly. They're just so horrifically boring. They're just so goddamn basic. They are the physical embodiment of the CW channel. They are a jar of mayonnaise walking around. They are pasta salad marrying potato salad. It's, without the raisins. Not even raisins added to the mix. They are white. They are, all right, guys, you ready to rock and roll after dinner? White. They're white. They're basic. They're not inspiring. They're not fun. Ryan Reynolds, here's my problem with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. They think they are so fucking funny. They think they are the funniest fucking couple to ever grace our lives. Their presence is a present because they're so goddamn quirky. It's so annoying. The constant jokes that they have on social media. Like Ryan Reynolds, I think, is funny. But I've heard he's got like a group of writers that follow him around to like feed him lines all the time. That's fucking nuts. That's like, I don't know who, it's actor shit. Actors don't know who the fuck they are. They need somebody to tell them who they are. They need lines fed into their brain so that they can spit them out and seem like they're normal. Actors are fucking weird. You have two actors marry each other? Good luck. Two white fucking actors like this? I mean, Jesus. They get sunburned just thinking about the sun. They are so white. They're just obnoxious, and they think they're very funny. You can just tell that they're like, we are. We're so fucking funny online. We're like charming and people love us. And like, I'm always joking about you, Blake, and how you're fucking the bane of my existence. And that's the other thing about Ryan Reynolds. All of his jokes online about his wife are like, can you believe this ball and fucking chain? Look at this dumb bitch I have to deal with. Ew, Blake, I'd rather you be a real Blake, like a boy. I hate you and your vagina. I mean, everything he posts is like, he'll post a picture of him, Blake, their children, two children, and the caption will be like, me and the greatest people I'll ever love. Oh, and also Blake. Like, it's just so typical married man humor. This old ball and chain, this old bitch. And Blake is just like, ha, 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 I got lucky marrying him because all I was known for was Gossip Girl. You know, the show where the only memorable thing that came out of it was Go Piss Girl, that meme. That's the show I was on. I mean, they are so incredibly boring. And now they've come out with movies at the same time, and they've really amped up their saltine crackerness. Their translucent colorness, their lacking of melaninness. Ryan had Deadpool, 17. I just found out there were like 3 other Deadpools before this. So he's like on his 3rd installment of Deadpool. Hey, we get it. Give Rick and Morty fans a break, huh? They just found out they had diabetes. They can't be laughing this hard. Deadpool literally is a movie for fans of Rick and Morty and the Spencer's store in the mall and Virgins. Just the best mix. People with cystic acne, and I can say that I've had cystic acne. I can see my people from a mile away, and they are all lining up to see Deadpool. You know, that Deadpool is entertaining, but it's something you watch at home because you don't want to be sitting amongst the people who don't know what deodorant is in the movie theater. The people who give incels hope that love is real. You know, it's just they're beyond nerds. You know, there are fans that are nerds of things, and they're like really sweet, and like Star Wars fans, they seem really sweet. They know they're nerdy. They just like to have fun with their stupid light up lightsaber. You know, they want to quote you a million fucking quotes from all the different movies, and you're like, okay, nerd, just take my fucking order at Chick-fil-A, please. But then there's fans like Deadpool fans that are like, oh, this person could be a school shooter. Like, they have the potential to shoot up their first grade. This person thinks that women deserve to be locked away in cages, and that's because women don't put out enough for them or even look at them or give them any attention. It's like that kind of, Rick and Morty fans. Rick and Morty is a very, very funny show. Watch it at home. Don't tell anybody to watch it because the stigma around their fans is like ungodly. You know, it's like the opposite of anime fans. Anime fans are harmless. They're a little weird. They're like kawaii, but they're harmless. Rick and Morty fans, they will murder your mother, you know, and they don't think that you deserve rights if you're a woman. Also, they smell. But Blake and Ryan, so they're getting together because they have a release of movies at the same time. I think they were going for like this Barbie Oppenheimer-esque run. You know, the fun last year of Barbie coming out and Oppenheimer coming out and Barbieheimer and like all that was really fun. Margot Robbie and Cillian Murphy and like the dichotomy of the two. It was so fun. And the cast from both vehicles kind of came together and it was really fun, their promotion, and they did their own things, and they both had amazing box offices, and Barbie was for the women, and Oppenheimer was for the men, and I think that Ryan Reynolds and, what's her face? I don't even remember. What is it? Oh, Blake Lively, that's right. Blake Unlively, like, what are we doing? Blake Boardley. I think that's what they were wanting to do with their movies, so Ryan had Deadpool, which is going to be a box office smash. He's got the fan base. It's actually entertaining. And then Blake had It Ends With Us, which is a Colleen Hoover movie come to life. It's a Colleen Hoover novel come to life in movie form about domestic violence. Hey, that's not that cute. You know, domestic violence is not cute. Now, I will say that Oppenheimer is literally about an A-bomb. So I don't know how they made Barbie and Oppenheimer so cute and quirky and fun and like, oh, Barbieheimer, and we were fine with it. But like DV, that's not cute and quirky and fun. And the promo and press for this movie have been unhinged. It's just Blake Lively being like, hey, girlies, you and your friends put on your best floral, cover up your black eye, and come out and see It Ends With Us. And remember, it does end with us because that man is going to fucking murder you. All right, see you at the theater. Grab popcorn. Like, it's not fun. It's not light. Her promotion of the movie has been very like, this is so fun. Don't you love getting smacked straight in the face by your man, your big cop husband, or whatever the fuck he does that he does not agree with what you're doing? It's very weird. It should have been more of a serious promotion. She could have taken herself a little seriously. She doesn't take herself seriously, but also is not self-deprecating in the least. She takes herself seriously as an actress, but also thinks she is doing the cutesiest fucking little film for all the girly pops out there getting girly popped in the face. It's very weird. And also, her and Ryan Reynolds are just completely off-putting individuals. They are the couple that gets married on a golf course. That is just the worst. The worst vows. They think their vows are so fucking funny, and it's just like nobody gets these jokes because they're bad and also inside jokes, We don't know what you call her little... What is the tulip? What are you referring to when you call her little tulip? Is that her clit? Or is that her favorite flower? What do you mean when you call her my little tulip? I don't understand. They are a golf course couple. They are like Justin Timberlake and Jessica Biel if they were even more watered down, which is hard to do. And that's because Ryan Reynolds is Canadian. Sorry. But it's not working. Apparently Ryan Reynolds has had a lot of involvement in It Ends With Us, which made for a rift with the director. I don't know his name. I don't care. I'm not going to look it up. I do not give a fuck about this movie. Blake Lively and the director of It Ends With Us had some issues. Ryan Reynolds was writing scenes for the movie. It's the worst. It is the worst. Ryan Reynolds, at least to me, is more talented and has done more things that has contributed more for movies and art. I guess if you want to call Just Friends art. I guess it is art. But Blake Lively has not done a lot, and I don't care to see any more of her. And the fact that she's treating It Ends With Us, a movie adapted from a Colleen Hoover book, she's treating this like it is the next blockbuster, the next Barbie. Honey, it's not. Okay, this is something you would see Reese Witherspoon adapt for like HBO. Or not even HBO, Apple TV. Because Reese Witherspoon does that. She's brilliant, and she created a book club so that she could gauge the interest of the public on certain books. And then if the public really liked one of the books she's featuring in her book clubs, then she features books, right, in her book club. She made this book club. Whatever book stands out as the most popular to the people in her book club, she goes, oh my God, this would make a great adaptation on screen. So then she buys the rights to the book for the screen and then makes the film or TV series, whatever she does. Sometimes it's TV series, sometimes it's a movie she makes off of the book. And then she makes money. She's very smart, but it's giving Reese Witherspoon book club. Some of the things that Reese Witherspoon has done, they're fine. They're for moms. It Ends With Us. I don't know who's wearing their florals and their best busted up eye to go see It Ends With Us in theaters. Like, it's very fucking annoying. I'm glad that Blake and Ryan are fizzling with this. It's not really working. The public isn't on board. It's also very weird. And also, at least Ryan has Deadpool to promote. I mean, that's a solid film, I would think. He's got a solid fan base. They're all fucking weird virgin incel nerds that are going to show up to this movie. Who the fuck is showing up to Colleen Hoover's It Ends With Us? You know, it's like J.D. Vance would say, childless cat women. That's who. And probably J.D. Vance himself, holding hands with George Santos. We'll see how that goes. All right, let's get into our beautiful, beautiful sponsor. We know them. We love them. Lucy Brown, my favorite coffee shop here in Lexington, Kentucky. I'm no longer in Lexington, but I miss them so much. I miss them so much. I just have a stroke. I got Lucy Brown coffee shipped to me. It was shipped straight to me. For the first time. Usually I'd go and pick it up because I was in Lexington, but now that I'm in Louisville, which is exactly how you pronounce this city, just pretend you have a stroke. I'm in Louisville. I have to have the coffee shipped to me, and let me tell you, it came on time, and it came perfectly. That sounded dirty, but thank you so much, Sarah Brown, and thank you so much, Lucy Brown, for sending this coffee. I love this coffee, and you should get the subscription and love it too. It is a great service. You're getting a great product at a very, very, very good price. If you love coffee, this is the deal for you. Go to LucyBrownCoffee.com. That's LUSSI, browncoffee.com, and sign up for their coffee subscriptions. Every month, you get a new bag from a different roaster of a preference of your choice, whether you like light roast, dark roast, medium roast, regular roast, Donald Trump roast jokes, whatever you like. They'll send a bag of coffee to your door from a different roaster every single month. When you go to the grocery store, you're seeing the same old fucking bags of coffee over and over and over again. Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks, all this mass-produced bullshit. There's probably cockroach eggs and all that shit. It's in some giant fucking factory with no AC. The workers are all, making pennies on the dollar. Don't support slave labor. Sign up for Lucy Brown Coffee. These are local, great coffee roasters. Every time I've gotten a bag, it's been different and it's been fucking delicious. I can't recommend it enough. And all just starting at $20 a month. Are you kidding me? Plus, if you sign up with my promo code, Heather Shaw is kidding, you'll get 10% off your first order. That is a fucking deal, folks. Go to LucyBrownCoffee.com. That's LUSSI browncoffee.com and click the coffee subscription button to get signed up today. We love you, Lucy Brown. Thanks again so much for your support and for sponsoring the show. Obama's summer playlist has come out. You gotta love it. This is not the music that he is listening to. We can all agree to that. Let's pull up his playlist here. Did I lose it? I think I lost it. Let me see if I can find it here. Obama's summer. You gotta see the songs on this playlist. Who the fuck? What gay fucking intern is making this? And who is believing that Obama is bumping this music? I think there are 3 songs on here that Obama tells him that he's been listening to. I think No Diggity by, I believe, Blackstreet. That makes sense. I like the way you're working. No diggity. I got to bag it up. Like, I can see Barack Obama bumping that. But you cannot tell me that Barack Obama is listening to 365 by Charlie XCX. You can't tell me that Barack Obama knows what a Charlie XCX is. Sorry. There's your mouth fart for the episode. If you were to ask Barack Obama, what is his middle name? Isn't it Hussein? I'm not going to sound crazy, right? It's not Daryl. If you were to ask Barack Daryl Obama, what is Charlie XCX? He would probably guess it was a drone that he has used to kill brown children overseas. That's my guess. That'd be my. He would not know. A Charlie XCX. What is that? Is that a drone? It's got to be a drone. Definitely a drone I've used. Charlie XCX sounds like a murder machine. He does not know what Charlie XCX is. It's hilarious. He's got 365 bumping that. Yeah, the big coke head, Barack Daryl Obama. Is his middle name Hussein? I don't know. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to guess that. I'm going to say it's Daryl or Tyler. Barack Tyler Obama, the big BTO. You can't tell me he's listening to Charlie XCX's 365. You can't also tell me that he's listening to anything by Billie fucking Eilish. I mean, his daughters must have made this playlist for him. Why are we doing this? Who are we fooling? Here's what he tweeted. And by he, again, nowhere near X is this guy. This guy is not on X, either Ecstasy or the app. He's not tweeting. He's not taking Molly. With summer winding down, I wanted to share some songs that I've been listening to lately. And it wouldn't be my playlist if it didn't include an eclectic mix. Hope you find something new to listen to. Sir, be so fucking for real right now. Now, here's some I believe he's listening to. He's got No Diggity by Blackstreet. I absolutely believe that he's listening to that. That song came out decades ago. He's listening to it. I Can't Get No Satisfaction by the Rolling Stones. Of course. Golden by Jill Scott. I could see that. I don't even think he's listening to Tupac. I really don't. Maybe. Don't Cry Baby, Etta James. He's listening to that. Come Away With Me by Norah Jones. What is he, a woman? He's not listening to Norah Jones. Barack Obama is not putting on Norah Jones at any time during the day. What do you think out of this playlist is Barack Obama having sex to? Let's see. Definitely Texas Hold'em by Beyonce. He's doing pumps to the rhythm of the song. This ain't Texas, 1, 2. I can't hold 'em, boom. Take 'em, Michelle. A lot of this music is bullshit. He's got Nick Drake on here. I don't know, man. Barack wants to always remain the coolest fucking politician we'll ever have, and he will. He doesn't need to release a bullshit playlist that his daughter put together with also the help of just pulling random songs out of a song list generator online. I don't know. What's the most absurd on here? Has to be Billie Eilish. It's Chihiro, which I think is that not today. Maybe tomorrow. That song's like, open up the door, won't you open up? Maybe he's listening to that. But only because it's on at the gym when he's working out. It's not him putting on Billie Eilish. It's just on at the private gym while he's working out. And he's like, I like this little jam. This is, what is this, a lesbian? I'm over the likability of politicians. Of course, I'm excited about Kamala and Walz because it's a breath of fresh air in this political race. It's good to see people that can string together sentences that don't have to resort to calling people names. But at the end of the day, like I always say, they're politicians. You can't trust them. Do not trust them. Do not fall in love with them. Do not idolize them. They are public servants. Let them do their fucking public service. And that's that. Don't buy merch. Don't buy a camo hat. Don't start listening to the Barack Obama summer playlist. Remember, he has sent drones to kill brown children overseas. He's not that great because he can't be. You can't be a sitting president and be a good person. It doesn't work. You got to do some bad things sometimes in presidencies. You're running a country, okay? You're not running a friend club. Not to excuse why he, would do drone strikes, but, he's a president. He's not a good guy. I also just don't believe that he's listening to anything. I think that Barack Obama is listening to, what's he listening? He's definitely listening to The Woman in Me, the Britney Spears audiobook read by Michelle Williams is her name, I believe. Not the black one, but he thought it was Michelle Williams, Destiny Child member, but it's just Michelle Williams, Heath Ledger's ex. But I think that's what Barack Obama's listening to. He's listening to Michelle Williams read The Woman in Me, because he thinks it's Michelle Williams from Destiny's Child reading Britney Spears' The Woman in Me. That's it. Open up the door. You open up the door. Boy, oh boy. Well, we'll talk a little about, again, I've already talked on the Patreon about these things, and I don't want to repeat things that I've talked about, because it's not fair to the Patreon members. The Patreon members and Apple subscribers, they're paying $3, $5, $10, $20 a month to get an extra episode of this podcast. And I want to make sure that they're not getting the same old things that I'm talking about. I want it to be fresh and different on every episode. So I'm not going to really get into Nelly's arrest. I've already talked about it up front. I got into it way more on the Patreon episode. It is silly. It is goofy. I will get lightly into Kanye becoming addicted to whippets. I know that's very fun to hear about. But again, I've already talked about it on the Patreon. I don't want to bore the people who have already heard me talk about it. I will say Kanye West allegedly is addicted to nitrous oxide from a dentist who has been providing him with this tanks and tanks of nitrous oxide for, in exchange of money. A classic drug deal, if you will. There is nothing more embarrassing in this world than being a grown-ass billionaire or millionaire. I don't know what Kanye West is. He's got enough money to really make some change in this world, and instead he's decided to get addicted to laughing gas. There's nothing more embarrassing than at his age and at his financial status to get addicted to what is essentially whippets. That is so hilarious and so sad. It truly is sad. He's a father. He's a genius. He's an artist. He's a person. It is kind of scary to think about this could be the end of Kanye West. I likened it on the Patreon episode. I said dying from an OD of whippets is kind of like dying from autoerotic asphyxiation gone wrong, where you jack off and choke yourself at the same time, and some people die from that. David Carradine from Kill Bill died from that, and now everybody has to know that you were into hanging yourself by a belt and jacking off, and you failed and accidentally ended up choking yourself to death. That's embarrassing. But to die from laughing gas, an OD of whippets, essentially, is very embarrassing, especially for someone who is a musical genius like Kanye West. You can love him, you can hate him, you can't deny the fact of his contribution to arts and culture in the past, 2.5 decades, if not more. It sucks. I hope that Kanye gets out of this. It seems to be a very true story. There are pictures of Kanye with the gas mask on, if you will. I mean, it's kind of something that just connects to his nose so he can breathe it in, so you can still see his eyes and forehead. And it's giving a 2024 version of Michael Jackson, who I lovingly refer to as Mike Jackson, because I think it's funny to call Michael Jackson Mike Jackson, as if he's just your creepy neighbor who has to legally tell you that he has been arrested and he can't be near playgrounds anymore. Yeah, it's scary to think that this could be the end of Kanye because of drugs, because of a weird fucking drug. If you're going to die from an OD, do heroin, dude. Laughing gas? I don't even know if you can really OD on laughing gas. Mike Jackson died from propofol. That's a very, very strong drug. That's a anesthetic. It's it's very, 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 very strong. More strong than morphine, and I think even more strong than fentanyl. It makes sense. It's kind of weird. It's a weird way to die, but it's also like hardcore. You're knocking yourself out at night so that you can sleep. The Ambien's not working. You have to take fucking propofol, pre-surgery medication kind of shit. But laughing gas, bro, that's just so embarrassing. You died from the shit you get at the dentist. It's like getting stabbed to death by a water pick. It's like, get the fuck out of here. We'll see what happens. I hope to God Kanye can come out of this. And I think he's released a couple albums I have not listened to. I have no interest, really. I've not heard anything. Usually people like me who are not huge hip-hop heads or like really connected into Kanye's music like that anymore. The only way I'm going to hear it is if I hear it on social media and I like it and it sounds cool. Everybody's hyping it up. You're not really seeing that with his album. I think it was called Vultures 2. You're not really seeing it, I heard it's not great. It could probably be chalked up to the fact that the man is high as a fucking kite on a weird fucking drug, on a drug that, can cause brain damage more so than like meth. It's not good. You ever see somebody on Whippets? It's real embarrassing. It's like, oh God, please grow up. I've seen a grown man do Whippet after Whippet, and I'm just like, bro, this is beyond depressing. You are inhaling a whipped cream can. You've got to get your shit together. Do you know how to file taxes? Why don't you go file your taxes? Anything but this. This is embarrassing for everyone involved. So I hope he gets better. I don't know. That's the tea. Of course, I go into it much more on the Patreon, but I had to talk about it here because I don't know if a lot of people know, if they're not on TikTok seeing it over and over like I am. I don't know if they know that that's going on. The last thing I want to talk about here, well, there's a couple more things, but I did see an article. Julianne Huff. What is this article I read? Julianne Huff, who was that dancer? She was like a dancer on, what's that fucking show where celebrities are like, look at me, I can tango. God, Dancing with the Stars. I think she was a dancer on So You Think You Can Dance and then maybe Dancing with the Stars. Anyways, Julianne Huff is hinting why she broke up with Ryan Seacrest back in 2013. Girl, you don't have to hint. I'll tell you why you broke up with that man. Because the contract ran out. That's why you broke up with Ryan Seacrest. I don't even think you ever held hands with that man. I don't even think you looked him in the eyes for longer than 3 seconds. There was no kissing in that relationship. You broke up with him because he wanted poop on his dick. Okay, the man likes anal. He's probably a bottom. The man wants dick in his butt. And that's okay. But Julian, that's not for you. Let's be so fucking real. Ryan Seacrest likes men, allegedly. He is gay, allegedly. The sky is blue, allegedly. Julianne, you broke up with him because the contract ended. There was no heated, oh my God, maybe we should break up. It was through text. Hey, do you want to renew this contract where it says I'm your girlfriend? And Ryan was like, girl, no, please. I'll find somebody else. And she said, okay. No one is buying that Julianne Huff and Ryan Seacrest were ever in a room together, let alone naked. There was no kissing in that relationship. Apparently they dated for 3 years. Dated for 3 years. AKA went to Nobu once a month holding hands, and Ryan internally was screaming, going, this is fucking icky. Have you seen Ryan Seacrest's childhood photo? I have great guy gaydar because my younger brother is gay, so I grew up studying what a gay man looks like. And I can tell you, with certainty 95% of the time if a man is gay just by looking at their childhood pictures. I promise it's my superhero. It's my superpower. It's not a great one, but it's there. Ryan Seacrest is gay, allegedly. Go look at his childhood photo. He's a big porker. He's a bigger kid, but he's got that gay sparkle. He's got that twinkle in his gay eye that says, Mama, one day I'm going to be a star. And boy, is he ever. He's got like 9 jobs in Hollywood. He is the Dick Clark of our generation. The only difference is that Dick Clark had a loving wife. Anyways, Julianne Huff is hard up for press, I guess, so she's now reflecting on her relationship with Ryan Seacrest. This is on justjared.com, which is just basically where publicists go to, send in stories for their clients. On Monday's episode of the Armchair Expert podcast, the one with Dax Shepard. Is there nobody worse in the world than Dax Shepard? I'm sorry. I don't buy that Dax Shepard is a good person. I don't care if he's sober. 9 times out of 10, if you're sober, it's because you were a bad person. Okay? I was a horrific drunk. I was not a good drunk. I was a lightweight. I was an asshole. I'm great sober, but as a drunk, I sucked. You don't get sober because life's going great and you're nice. You get sober because everything is falling apart and everyone hates you. Dax Shepard, he seems awful. Anyways, I guess he said, Julianne was on his fucking podcast, Armchair Expert. And he said, I would imagine it'd be so exciting and so privileged and so romantic. And then also I would feel like I was losing myself to all that. I guess dating Ryan Seacrest, being a big celebrity. And Julianne responded, that was exactly the dynamic. The rug was swept up underneath me, and I was just flying, and I was experiencing things that I didn't even know existed. Kind of like Grindr. Is that what she experienced? I experienced that he would just go out and meet up with any male, anywhere, in a park. They'll just suck dick in a park. Did you know that, Dax? Gay men will just suck dick in a park. Before dating Ryan Seacrest, I had no idea that gay men would just meet up in a park and be like, you took the prep, right? And then pass a popper and suck a dick. There's so many things I just got swept up with. I had no idea that existed. I didn't even know what prep was. Do you know what prep is, Dax? Oh, you do? Okay. Poppers? I thought that was I don't know, a party thing. Not a drug, but just something you let off to have the confetti. No, it's something you huff. Like my last name. I'm sure there's a lot she didn't know existed before dating Ryan Seacrest. She continued, I had this insecurity that I was like, I don't ever want anybody to think that I'm with him for this reason. Girl, we know you're with him for the publicity. There's no reason you should be dating Ryan Seacrest. This is a contractual obligation. If they would have got married, this would have been, a business relationship. A John Travolta, Kelly Preston kind of thing. Julianne revealed that Ryan Seacrest had experiences with people using him, and she wanted to make it clear she wasn't doing the same. This is all bullshit. Ryan Seacrest does not want to be with Julianne Huff. I'm going to end it at that. Ryan Seacrest wants to be with Derek Huff. Okay. And I'm sure he has been. The last thing I want to talk about is this dumb fucking movie I saw. It's called The Dirt. My fiance and I watched it. It's the most horrific reenactment of Motley Crue. It's like a Motley Crue biopic. First of all, who's asking for that? Second of all, MGK is in it as Tommy Lee. If that doesn't sell you enough, you have to watch it. It's good, but also bad. MGK is the best part of it, I will say, which is not saying a lot. He plays Tommy Lee. But it is so dumb. This movie is so dumb. If you like Motley Crue, I didn't really know anything about their history. Everything I knew about Motley Crue, I learned from Behind the Music. I knew that Nikki Sixx had OD'd on heroin and saw himself from an ambulance, out of body. He had an out of body after death experience. I knew that they hung out with Ozzy Osbourne, and Ozzy Osbourne did rails of ants in front of them. I don't fucking know. This shit was Disney Channel version of Motley Crue. It was so fucking stupid. None of the actors looked like they were had ever seen a guitar in their life. MGK sold it well because he can kind of pretend to be MGK is a cosplaying rock star in real life. He was a rapper. He's just a really good cosplayer. he was a really good cosplayer for hip hop. He was a rapper, and then he went after Eminem, and then Eminem buried him. And so he was like, just kidding, I'm Blink-182 now. And then he is cosplaying a punk star or a punk rock kid. He's just a really good cosplayer. He's also an actor. So once again, it goes back to actors. They don't know who they are. They could not tell you who they really are. They don't have an identity. They are whatever you tell them they should be that will sell and get them famous. That's it. That's MGK. But he was really good in this movie because he's a decent actor and he can just, cosplay Tommy Lee really well. It looked like the costumes are horrible. The wigs were good. But, I just don't know who was asking for the biopic of Motley Crue in the year... I think this movie came out a couple years ago, so the year 2023. I just don't know who's like, we need to know what happened. How did Motley Crue come about? Nobody cares. Nobody fucking cares. I don't know why I watched this movie. It just was put on. My fiance just put it on, I guess, and we were just kind of rotting on the couch after moving one night. We were really both tired. I think our brains were fried, and she just put it on, and I guess we just watched it, and I was hate watching it. I give it a C, just because the wigs were great. But if you've seen The Dirt, please comment. Please let me know what you think, because am I the only one that thought that was abysmal and weird? No one wanted that movie. It was against my will watching that. All right, this is just a reminder for live shows. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. It was a wild one. We got on a little rants. Please don't cancel me. I don't know what I said. Hey, at least I'm not Brooke Schofield, You won't find any weird tweets from me. All right, coming up, I have shows in Phoenix once again this weekend at the House of Comedy, Thursday through Saturday. 5 shows. Phoenix, Arizona. Stamford, Connecticut, I'm at the New York Comedy Club, August 21st. Long Island, I'm at Governor's, August 22nd. Next month, I'm in Sacramento, San Fran, Bakersfield, San Jose, Brea, Providence, Portsmouth, Beverly, Foxborough, Dallas. In October, I'm in Tulsa, Bentonville, Arkansas, Kansas City. Tickets are up on sale now on my website. Salt Lake City, Las Vegas. Shows are constantly being added. You can get all tickets at heathershawcomedy.com. If you'd like to, please rate and review this podcast. It just helps with something on Spotify and Apple. It just helps. It shows that people are listening. Leave a comment on YouTube, subscribe on YouTube, do whatever you want. Join the Patreon if you really want to know what I said more in depth about Trump last week and Nelly and what the fuck else, Kanye doing Whippets. I really went in depth with all that shit. Join the Patreon, Heather Shaw Comedy over at patreon.com. You get an extra episode of this podcast every single week. It comes out on Sundays. And, of course, the main podcast is free every week, out on Wednesdays. You're listening to it now. Thank you so much for listening. I appreciate it. Stay gay. See ya.